I saw that post and I was a little bit because dollar.
How's it this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Are you off to a new year?
I'm off to a new year. That's good.
It's, we get started in the new year and it's like, whoa,
I
your hands are
know.
cold this morning.
Sorry.
It's cold outside.
It is.
Yeah,
It is chilly. How's
Yeah.
Kristen doing?
doing good.
She gets here early.
Not over Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Okay,
And
good.
her birthday was yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes. and
Bless her
so-
heart.
Yeah. You guys are
Especially this quick.
Getting old.
We're
Getting
not.
old.
We're not, but you guys are.
Yes, it seems to be exaggerated every birthday.
Yeah, so
It's
that,
getting exaggerated.
So that's
No, I'm
not
not gonna
quite happy.
now. That's crazy.
You're looking weird. It's like, holy cow, how did we get
I
here?
mean, it was.
Did we
When
get
you really, where did he just post
Life
it?
happened.
The way it was
Here we are.
presented here.
We
Not
are.
on 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, it's all good.
You know.
It's about a year too fast for us to come up with
Can I make
One more
a
copy?
One more?
Sure.
How are you, Nicole?
Good, how are you?
Great. Good to see you.
You too.
Getting
Have
settled?
things been a little more calm over the
Yeah.
hospital since last we saw you?
Yes. Sure. So,
Yeah, no problem. To talk to you sometime, just to understand the organization of the
Sure.
hospital, because I was trying to do it on my own, and
yeah.
it seems like there's quite the history there, so
There is.
I think it would help me legally to just know exactly how it's organized. Does that make sense?
For sure.
Okay.
And obviously with ties to the county and then being leased by Great Plains is a pretty good relationship. That we have on both very strong stuff. Anytime I'm going to come down with you, maybe I'll just go back with my calendar and let you know.
Yeah, or just shoot me an email, and we can, and there's no rush
Okay.
on it whatsoever, so if we want to go out, a few weeks,
Sure.
when our calendars are a bit more open, I'm good with that. So,
Okay.
all right.
Great. Yes, I have that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I just forgot to make it. I was only short one.
Okay, I'll keep the copy.
Sure thing.
Are you guys picking up?
No. Fortunately not. So, CRS for December, on the inpatient front, that was the low for the year, so definitely finished well short of our budgeted projections, certainly. And, well, honestly, you guys are all familiar enough at this point to know how much our census and our outpatient volumes fluctuate, but we certainly have a protracted lull, as evidenced by 10 inpatients for December. Tough. So I certainly shared next year's budget with you. You guys recall that I am very optimistic for 16 with looking hard at our projections with regard to patient volume, and the cost saving measures that we've already taken and continue to pursue, in addition to some additional revenue generating things by way of 340B specifically is most noteworthy, and various grants. Certainly confident as we head into 16 now that the worst is behind us, but obviously that is strictly dictated on volume. So, if there's any questions with regard to the volume, I'll be happy to take them. But certainly want to convey that our strategic planning and annual review process is underway, and I'll be sharing that document with you at the next commissioners meeting. Basically, that just entails a hard scrutinization of where we finished up the year in comparison to the budget, where we were able to achieve the goals that we had established for 15, and where we were not, why not, how we can correct those deficient areas going forward, and it's probably about a 10 to 12 page document, as you remember from last year, just looking back at 15 and forward to 16. So I'm in the process of getting that put together now. With regard to our outpatient clinics, as you recall, getting telemedicine on board, still maintaining our deep roots with Kearney Regional Medical Center. I think there's going to be opportunity to expand again some of the specialties that remain available through Kearney, orthopedics and pulmonology being two that are currently being discussed. Very happy with the way that the United Methodist Health Ministry Fund grant is taking place. Wendy White is going to begin seeing about 12 patients for January, which is a pretty decent start. As you recall, those are going to be in-home visits for our patients who are dealing with multiple chronic conditions. And she'll be visiting them once a month in their home just to check up on them and make sure that they're taking their medicine. And, there's nothing in the home that pose a threat to their dangerous medical condition. So
You said 12, I'm sorry.
right. Mm-hmm. Cheyenne County, as I'm sure you guys are aware, has a very large proportion of veterans in the county, of over 250 currently. And recently we were able to get our clinic included in the TriWest program, which makes health services available to veterans through their normal benefits through the VA.
Didn't the VA require us to pre-register for that program with them?
Yep. And that's all.
I was not aware of that, and as a veteran, it surprised me.
Yeah, it was a somewhat arduous process getting everything submitted to the VA, getting it approved. Each provider had to submit individual documentation to the VA, but I need to double back, but we had 2 of our 5 providers that were 100% green light, good to go. The other 3 had submitted their paperwork, and we should have, certainly by the end of the month, all 5 providers eligible to see veterans.
I wonder, in my case, if I should just go to Burlington and fill out the paperwork over there at their clinic.
In what regard?
Well, to get that, there's a card they actually issue.
Exactly. You don't have the card?
No.
Oh yeah, you definitely need the card.
I mean, I've got an ID card with me, but I don't have under this new program.
If you call the TriWest, the VA obviously has been under a lot of scrutiny, and they have certainly been attempting to be overly accommodating to veterans. I would encourage you to call them and explain the situation, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could give you something in the mail to avoid that trip to Farmington.
All right, thank you.
We had our all-call here at the end of last month, and just wanted to publicly recognize our award winners. A lot of outstanding employees: Julie Bronk, Milo Vandal, Laura Lamb, Jamie Peebler, and Mary Ellen Rose were all recognized at our most recent all-call. So, I guess the big picture is things remain slow. We are making every effort to look for cost-saving mechanisms by scrutinizing our service contracts. The nurses and staff have been doing a good job of taking voluntary low census. I have not tried to the point where it's gone to mandatory low census, but there's certainly no cause for panic whatsoever. I don't want to.
Can we get the news out that we can see the veterans now through the TriWest network?
Yeah.
Is there a way of maybe the
Shauna-
paper or
Shauna actually was getting that out to everybody.
maybe we can get some of the paperwork that Rodney's talking about?
Yeah, because if they need that and they show up with the understanding that it's okay, they're
Without
going to
the
be
card.
frustrated, and we don't want that.
But if they know that they need to fill out the paperwork to get the card, because I've got a lot of patients that have just come back from somewhere getting a VA checkup.
Right.
And if we get the news out that they don't have to drive 200 miles for it, maybe that would be, help us get our census up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll follow up with Sean. I know that she got that out into various public venues, recently on Facebook and
I think
all
the
that.
paper
But,
would be the best because
and I thought it had been in the paper.
I haven't seen it yet.
because a lot of older gentlemen, you say Facebook and you
No,
get a
no,
blank,
trust me.
glossy-eyed look. And I do the same thing because I check my Facebook like twice a year.
Well, that's more than I do, so.
Yeah.
No, I certainly would never rely on Facebook as a form of information dissemination, but I just use that as a illustration to the point that
I
we're
understand.
trying to get it filtered out, and I absolutely follow up to make sure that it was submitted to the paper. Maybe it was in our quarterly
It was
newsletter.
It might have been in your
I think it was
newsletter,
in our newsletter.
but we haven't had anything for a long time.
Okay.
I'm not saying we've never had it.
And your radio
Not
ads would
recently.
be great, and you can maybe do that on there too.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think the thing in the newsletter said about it having been pre-registered.
No, it did. It did not give the details.
So that needs.
And we'd be
Absolutely.
glad to do a story too.
Okay, that's great feedback. I certainly appreciate that, and I will get some specifics out to the Herald just so we can coach our veterans through the process, because certainly working with the VA is not user-friendly.
Got that something to the ads, you got in those area papers as well. There's a lot of white space in those ads.
Yeah.
I'm not one that likes white space.
White space is
Here.
good. But we do have 5 papers, and I'm not sure Northwest Kansas have what that goes for.
There's a VA that comes in, I think.
Okay.
At a discount.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Jody comes in the first Thursday of
Thank
the
you.
month and meets with people right here.
I think it's
Let me know
phenomenal
that.
that you
I'll
guys
check with
are
them.
doing these things to stay ahead of the curve.
Because we need to
Some
make this
plans
work
I'll
as
do
easy as possible.
Maybe you can help on your radio ads. You're gonna get a lot of veterans on the radio ads too, and you're with patients, So
Absolutely.
that is phenomenal.
But I just want to reiterate and offer that as evidence to the fact that we are not being passive with regard to this enduring season of world census. I am confident, as we look back historically, certainly ebbs and flows and there's highs and lows, and although this is a protracted slow period for the hospital, we are being aggressive in ways that we can not only make sure that we're taking care of our patients in the county, because certainly understand there's frustrations out there. Most recent example would be our order tracking process. If you go into the clinic, you need to go for an evaluation at physical therapy or the lab, radiology, what have you. There have been some struggles in getting those orders across the street, and I know that again is an example of ways that we can improve the patient experience through the clinic. And so bottom line is we're offering ourselves a high level of scrutiny going into this new year, looking for process improvements and making sure that one, we're serving Sherman County patients, and two, able to capture some patients out of the county. We're looking for a place to doctor, so I would offer that to you as the bottom line for 2016. And I will look forward to sharing your annual review, which again will highlight some of the areas that fell short of projections last year and how we're going to do everything within our capability to mitigate those in 2016.
It's quite clear that you guys are doing what it needs to be done, so that's good.
Appreciate your guys' support, and as always, please come by and see me at the hospital if you have any concerns I can address outside this normal cycle.
Good, I'll see you this afternoon with a check.
Okay, yes, sir.
For a baby bed warmer, right?
Exactly. Yep, I look forward to that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. See ya.
And you know you can always call.
Absolutely. How are you guys? Good morning. Good.
I know that's why I just going to donate that program he's got going.
Oh, great. And I got Rudy with me representing the fire and EMS,
Cool.
because this grant is for the emergency services.
You excited?
And thanks for working on the weekend.
Saturday, but
Oh, no, I was like,
wow.
wow. That's the goal.
Yeah.
I was impressed you even got to it. And Deb, I'll give you my copy when we're done here. Oh, actually, no, I did make an extra. I thought I made enough. So we have an opportunity to apply for the Assistance for Firefighters grant. And it's an annual federal grant opportunity that comes up. And for a rural area, they actually pay 95% of what you need. So that leaves our county match at only 5% of everything that we request. The spreadsheet on the back, the second page, that's part of what I gave you guys last week and in the planning back in earlier in 2015. I had projected that we would need $15,000 to match for the firefighter. Let me see, make sure I have the right one. Yes, it's the second one where it says Firefighter Assistance Prevention and Safety Grant. We'd originally projected $15,000. The proposal I've created only calls for a match of $4,825. So we're under what I had originally projected that we were going to need by quite a bit. So hopefully in budget planning we included at least that $5,000 that we'll need for this match. So the page that has all of the yellow on it, this is how we would be requesting funds. The Cheyenne County Fire and Rescue and St. Francis Fire Department is the host applicant, and they're applying as a regional project. And I was in correspondence with the attorney on the logistics of doing that, and there's a memorandum of understanding that has to be in place between the two fire departments and EMS so that they can apply as one entity. And to do that, by doing that, each of the three agencies can apply for bunker gear, protective gear, equipment. So what we're requesting here is that we're going to apply for 15 radios for the Cheyenne County Fire and Rescue St. Francis Fire Department. And the total cost of those are $31,500. Our 5% match would be $1,575. And grant funds, if we're funded, would be $29,925. So that's on the sheet that has the yellow here. So I'm kind of walking down each section. The second piece of that would be to get we need one set of bunker gear for the St. Francis and Cheyenne County Fire Department. They had a new firefighter join, and there is no protective gear that fits him. So if we got this grant, they would pay 95% of the $2,200 to equip him. Cheyenne County EMS doesn't have any PPE if we were faced with a chemical or biological agent. So we're requesting 23 sets of PPE so that we could equip their entire volunteer group. Those would be a shared resource with both of the fire departments. So the total cost of that would be $38,180, and the local match, if we are funded, would be $1,909. Bird City, they have 27 volunteers, and right now they have bunker gear for 24. So they're looking to get 3 additional sets of bunker gear for a total cost of $6,600, and the local match there is $3,300. And then Ord City's Fire Department has a couple sets of SCBA, and then you can shed light if you need to know what that is. That's the air tanks, I believe. They are expired and need to be replaced, so the total cost of those is $18,020. Our local match would be $901. So that,
What do they do with fuel tank?
I don't know.
I don't know, because we have had new for several years, but it is important to have those if we have to, you know.
There's probably a process to,
Great portable torch.
do they? And if they don't have to return them, then
It sounds like.
Smaller volumes.
I've got a little mobile torch unit already. Sorry, we're.
Oh, no, that's
we're
okay.
usually distracted.
firing guys, I understand. So basically, I'm seeking for approval so that we can apply for the project, which would be $96,500 if funded, and that our local match would be $4,825.
My question would be, where does the match funding come out of? Is the fire department going to be drawn on for the match?
That would be back when I had originally submitted this. I don't know how you guys budgeted or considered that, because I had requested that you consider $15,000 under the fire department's match. So I don't know if that got put into a fire department match, or if it got put into a general fund consideration, or if it got considered at all.
I don't know if we increased fire department for this year. I think we straight lined it, didn't we?
Get your notebook.
You have a notebook? I thought we gave them some, I thought we had increased it some.
Oh, I thought we used to, because of the
I'm pretty sure it was. Because I know fire insurance, we threw it in.
Motion unit second. Go ahead, Ocean Tim.
Okay, commodities, we increased. Would that be under commodities?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay, we went from 16,000 to 24,000, so there's 8,000 increase.
And this is a very competitive grant. I will tell you, it's not likely that we're going to get funded, but we're hopeful.
Boy, it'd be nice if we did, because
Yeah.
this is all stuff that saves lives.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with
I guess we probably need a motion on that.
Yes. And one thing I'll add is Carol got with me on Friday and we worked together to draft a really comprehensive memorandum of understanding that I think may make us a little more competitive, because I did some research and it looks like the more
And I brought a copy of that.
comprehensive your MOU is, then
The better.
the better chance you have of getting it. Still competitive, but I think with that we'll have a little bit better of a shot. So
Thank you.
that. Can you make a copy of this for all of us commissioners?
Sure. You bet.
Each get a copy.
Well, no, if he wants to get this going, I'll make the motion.
Okay, let's make a motion to approve this. The total,
4825.
huh?
For $4,825.
The 5% match total is 5,825.
4,000.
4,825.
You need to specify what it's for.
Do we need to
And it's the
specify each?
assistance for firefighter.
For firefighters and ambulance service, right?
Mhm.
That's,
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
And that is it. I'll make a copy of that.
You might want, because they specified that whole thing, so something comes up, that way we've got all of this. Okay.
And it's the assistance for firefighter grant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. When you go back, fine. Want to get yours? We only got 2 more people on our agenda.
What?
I was mixed up on New Year's Eve.
What about the animal service for that match there? Should we make a motion on that?
No, it all comes out.
It's
so-
all-
because
it's all-
because they're the biggest applicant.
All that's
Please,
together.
okay, I did.
I had. Good morning, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm still good. Okay, I have a couple of issues to visit with you about. I'm going to start with equipment reserve and capital improvement transfers.
Okay, I think Commissioner Radcliffe wanted to visit that in executive session.
Do you want an
Okay.
executive session?
I would prefer
For
to do
financial.
for financial.
I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session to discuss county finances.
And what time?
How long?
Oh,
10,
10 minutes?
okay.
10 minutes? So we'll, how about 20 minutes?